How y'all doing, everybody? My name is Juan, and today, along with my group members, Christian and Mari, we'll be presenting a project on Nestle, unpacking ethical challenges for Management 300. I'll be covering the introduction, our table of contents, and the detailed company overview of Nestle, setting the stage for the ethical issues for Christian, and Mari will talk about later in the slides. Nestle is one of the most recognized company in the world, but it also has one of the most complicated ethical histories. Throughout this project, we are unpacking how a company that touches billions of lives can face major questions about its corporate responsibility and moral decision making. Here's how a presentation will flow. We will start off a company overview where I'll give the background information about Nestle and its global operations. Then we'll move on into research topic and findings where Christian will explain, focus on the specific ethical challenges and that the company has faced. And after that, Mary will present our recommendations and we'll close with references at the end. My part is focused on helping you understand who Nestle is, how big they are, and why their decisions matter on global scales. All right, here's a quick Nestle overview. Nestle was founded in 1866 by Henry Nestle, originally a small company producing infant formula in Switzerland. Today, it has grown into the largest food and beverage manufacturer in the world with more than 450 factories across 80 different countries, more than any other food company on the planet. Their headquarters is located in Vevey, Switzerland, and they own over 2,000 brands. Some of their most popular, which we all know, is considered Nescafe, Kit Kat, Gerber, Perrier, and Pure Water Life. They also own and have major stakes in brands under the L'Oreal umbrella, meaning their reach goes far beyond food into health and beauty. As of September 2025, the company's CEO is Philip, and the first quarter of 2025 showed a 2.8 external sales growth and a 0.7% internal growth, showing that their company continues to expand even during global economic challenges. Nestle's success comes from its ability to adapt to markets, create strong brand recognition, and maintain production efficiency on a global scale. But this level of influence also comes with serious ethical responsibilities because every decision they make impacts many and millions of people, from factories to workers to farmers and consumers. Over the years, their size and market power have brought constant public scrutiny, whether it's how they source their ingredients, manage food resources, or even handle their marketing practices in developing countries. These controversies are what makes Nestle such an important case study when discussing business ethics. So, as you hear the next section, keep in mind that the foundation of Nestle's power, its scale, success, and global presence is actually what makes its ethical challenges so complex. And now I'll turn it over to Christian, who will go into detail about these ethical issues and what our researchers uncover.
Well said, Juan. We are about to uncover the truth behind Nestle. Are they truly committed to the people and our planet, or just profit? Principles of Management by Chuck Williams defines ethics as a set of moral principles for values that defines right and wrong for a person or group. It serves as a guide for actions or making decisions based on morals or values. Despite their global success, Nestle has had many ethical dilemmas. Believe it or not, this well known brand has many ugly truths that they are trying to keep covered. Issues in ethics are consistent, they repeat the same horrible things over and over again. Ethics have become a long term issue, so Nestle must make changes. You may believe that it can be easily fixed, however, that is not true. Ethics is not a temporary fix, therefore, it requires long term commitment. At the rate it's going, Nestle is going to lose trust from consumers and communities. Their core values do not align with the actions presented by the company. Nestle is well known for promoting values like integrity and respect, yet their practices often tell a different story. While researching Nestle's unethical behavior, we found that they claimed that integrity and fairness are ingrained in their business. They created a right to speak up program enabling anonymous reporting of noncompliance. The reality suggests ongoing challenges. In 2024 alone, 3,218 noncompliance concerns were raised, with a notable 75% of reports in 2022 coming from third parties rather than employees. This raises questions about internal trust and the effectiveness of the company's ethics. Nestle also claims to focus on 4 categories: compliance, governance, and culture, communication and training, monitoring and reporting, and closing gaps. Their human rights framework and roadmap was created to develop human rights values, suggesting that Nestle is committed to doing the right thing when it comes to human rights. However, concerns still remain about enforcement. Marie Messier, head of food affairs, stated that employees who violate ethics more than once only receive a formal warning. Continuing our research, Nestle has repeatedly come under fire for practices that severely undermine both environmental sustainability and ethical responsibility. The company has faced multiple lawsuits for exploiting natural water resources, including allegations of extracting from natural springs without the proper permits. Nestle continues to draw water from drought-prone regions, directly threatening the livelihoods of local communities already struggling with water scarcity. Although the community promotes an animal welfare policy, a 2013 investigation revealed disturbing footage of employees whipping, stabbing, and abusing cows, abuse that only came to light after a video was made public. This raised concerns about Nestle's monitoring and enforcement practices. Nestle holds a mid-level rating for environmental reporting, yet continues to struggle with major issues in its supply chain, such as the use of harmful pesticides. The company also fails to report its carbon emissions and still relies on HFC refrigerants, which, despite having zero ozone depletion potential, are powerful greenhouse gases that contribute to global warming. Nestle has been consistently ranked as the world's #1 plastic polluter, with its single-use plastic packaging contributing heavily to environmental degradation.
It is clear that Nestle faces many ethical issues, and there are a lot of changes that need to be made. For the first recommendation, we think that Nestle needs to highlight their ethics training program. It's important to create games, videos, and invite external speakers to highlight ethical issues within the organization. Principles of Business by Chuck Williams says that senior employees must be involved in ethics, or the ethics code means absolutely nothing to the employees and to outsiders. Top employees should make clear that ethical behavior will determine their employment. Violating ethical codes shouldn't be taken lightly, and that should be emphasized. Managers upholding and teaching code should encourage employees to treat ethics in the workplace seriously. That kind of builds upon ethical behavior determining their employment. Managers should make very, very clear that ethics is a very serious issue. And we think that Nestle should enforce a basic model of ethical decision making. This way, employees can determine ethical decisions on their own without having to consult a manager. A really big issue that Nestle seems to face is social responsibility. A big part of social responsibility is environmental aspects of a business. So for our second recommendation, we recommend that Nestle really focuses on their environmental ethics. This means focus on eliminating sourcing from drought-prone areas. They need to adopt a principle of utilitarian benefits, which means to never take action that does not benefit society. And they need to adopt a principle of distributed justice, which means to never take action that harms the least fortunate. In the past, Nestlé has taken water from areas that are prone to droughts and areas that already don't have a lot of water, meaning that people who live in the area are having to buy the water, unfortunately. Nestlé should eliminate usage of HFC refrigerants. They should also prioritize decreasing their carbon emissions and make the environment a priority, as it is essential that social responsibility is focused on for the success of Nestlé. A big part of upholding an ethical guideline in a business is to maintain ethical employees. So for our third recommendation, we think that Nestlé should focus on their employees and ensuring that they act ethically and understand what they're supposed to be doing. They can do this by focusing on temporal immediacy, which means that they'll be acting as soon as unethical behavior is detected within an employee. They should focus on following the U.S. Sentencing Commission Guidelines Manual, and they should also enforce standards across the board for every single employee. One way that you can have an ethical environment is to adopt a personality-based integrity test into the hiring process to ensure you're hiring ethical employees. This will measure the applicant's conscientiousness and ensure that how they feel and their morals will align with the company's values. This is important because if an ethical case ever appears, judges will assign a culpability score. The number of previous violations in the workplace and the amount of employees involved in the ethical misconduct will increase costs for a company. We also believe it's important for more internal and external audits to be conducted so unethical behavior is caught quicker. Stakeholders are a pivotal part of a company's success, and that does not exclude Nestlé. Stakeholders range from customers to investors to employees, etc. Satisfying the interests of their stakeholders is important for a long-term survival. Customers are concerned with unethical behavior exemplified at Nestlé. Transparent reporting should be mandatory. Stakeholders should be able to trust the company to report carbon emissions and other environmental standards. Nestlé should also address the concerns of primary stakeholders because terminating a relationship with a company could be detrimental. So stakeholders really need to see that Nestlé is improving and highlighting on all of their ethical challenge areas because in the future, if these issues continue happening, then stakeholders are more likely to terminate the relationship, and Nestlé can lose a lot of money and business from this. Here is the list of all the references we used for this presentation. We used reliable sources, including Nestlé's own website, and we also used the textbook to create all of our recommendations. Thank you.